Hey everyone, and welcome to Just Travel with Sandy. I'm Sandy, your guide to all things travel. So whether it's uncovering the best tips for navigating new countries, overcoming travel anxiety, or diving headfirst into vibrant cultural experiences, this podcast is your go-to resource. And it's for transforming your travel dreams into reality. My mission is just super simple. It's to help you explore the world with confidence, ease, and a sense of joy, the joy of travel, which is my absolute passion. Each episode will tackle a different aspect of travel, from practical planning tips to inspiring stories that spark your Wanderlust, as well as have guests who share their expertise and experiences. We'll also address the challenges many of us face, like managing the overwhelm of planning a trip, dealing with language barriers, or simply finding the courage to take that first step toward adventure. So whether you're a seasoned traveler looking for fresh ideas or someone dreaming of their first big trip but feeling held back by fear or anxiety, this space is for you. And together we'll build the tools, mindset, and excitement you need to embrace the beauty of exploring new places and cultures. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, settle in, and let's get started on this journey to making your travel goals not just possible, but unforgettable. So today we're kicking off a special series focused on one of the biggest hurdles that I've heard people talk about is anxiety. Travel anxiety is more common than I ever thought it was, but it doesn't have to hold you back from experiencing adventures of a lifetime. In this first episode, we'll focus on breaking down what travel anxiety is and why it happens. And we'll also dig into how it can show up in your life and what you can do to address it in a future episode. So grab your favorite travel mug, get comfy. We're about to take the first step towards turning your travel dreams into reality. So first, you might be surprised to know that it's a lot more common than you think. And let's start with the basics. What exactly is travel anxiety? At its core, it's a feeling of nervousness, fear, unease associated with the idea of traveling. And the truth is, it can really affect anyone. So, travel anxiety refers to feeling of nervousness, fear, or unease associated with the idea of traveling. It can range from mild discomfort, like feeling hesitant about packing, to severe triggers, where even thinking about a trip triggers panic. But why does travel, which should be so exciting and joyful, make someone feel uneasy? A lot of it comes down to the fear of the unknown. Our brains are hardwired to crave certainty and predictability. Travel throws us into unfamiliar environments, new cultures, language barriers, and unexpected situations. And for some, this feels thrilling. And for others, it can feel like stepping into chaos. Another key factor is our modern day tendency to overthink. Now, I am an overthinker. It's a stereotypical German thing. I am definitely an overthinker. But the sheer amount of information available, trip reviews, websites, blogs, apps, and so on, can really truly lead to what we like to call analysis paralysis. Have you ever spent hours Googling a destination and hotels and rentals, and then you were even more confused than when you started? That's a classic sign. Information overload. For some, it's not just mental, it can show up physically too. You might feel tense, have trouble sleeping, or even experience nausea at the thought of getting on a plane or navigating a city. And it's not about the fear of flying, it's just the uncertainty about what to expect. The good news? Understanding travel anxiety is the first step to overcoming it. So once we know where it's coming from, we can start breaking it down piece by piece. So now that you know what travel anxiety is, let's dive into the most common causes. And if any of these resonate with you, don't worry, you're not alone, and we will tackle solutions in future episodes. Fear of the unknown. That's a big one. That's a big one, even not just with travel. Fear of unknown. You might ask yourself, what if I get lost? What if they don't understand me? I don't speak the language. And what if I don't like the food? I actually know someone who's a vegan, and she's thinking about coming on my trip to Ireland in June and is leery because she's just not sure she'll have access to vegan foods. And here's a little plug. I'm hosting an off the beaten track trip to Ireland. It's going to involve a little bit of horseback riding, but there's only 4 slots left and more at the end. Just a little plug here. So she's worried about going to Ireland because we know meat and potatoes, right? But Ireland's changed. There's so many options now. But she's potentially not going to go on the trip because she's vegan and she's not sure if she will be able to have access to vegan food. So it's normal to feel uneasy about stepping into uncharted territory, so to speak, but those fears can be managed. And again, we'll talk about how in one of our upcoming episodes. And second, overwhelming logistics. Planning a trip can feel like assembling a puzzle without the picture on the box. Flights, accommodations, activities, cars, visas. Some countries have mandatory vaccines. There's so many moving parts. And if you're not confident on your planning skills, the whole process can feel like an uphill battle. And third, fear of things going wrong. People tell me that they worry about worst case scenarios, missed flights, stolen passports, or even get sick while abroad and not knowing what to do. Well, these are absolutely valid concerns, and they can happen. They're often very much so overblown in our imagination. And then there's that self-doubt. And here's the sneaky one, that little voice in your head saying, you're not adventurous enough, you can't handle this, you don't speak the language. Self-doubt can be a powerful barrier, but it's one we can overcome with the right mindset. And I remember when I went to China for the very first time, and I was thinking, because I knew that taxi drivers often don't speak English, I was like, how am I going to get from the airport to the hotel? But I reframed it as an opportunity to discover something unexpected, and I made it into a game. Travel anxiety just doesn't just live in our minds. It can affect us physically and emotionally too. So let's talk about how it shows up and why it's important to address. Physical symptoms. For some, travel anxiety can manifest as headaches, nausea, or trouble sleeping, and not just the night before. You might feel tense leading up to the trip or even during the journey itself. And an emotional impact. Anxiety can make us second guess our decisions or avoid travel altogether. And that's a real shame because it truly holds us back from amazing experiences. Relationship strains. If you're traveling with a partner or group, anxiety can lead to disagreements, miscommunications, and all kinds of chaos. It's crucial to acknowledge these feelings and find ways to work through them. But here's the good news. You're not stuck with travel anxiety. With understanding the right strategies, you can move past it and unlock a whole new world of possibilities. So to recap, we've covered what travel anxiety is, its common causes, and how it might be affecting you. In a future episode, we'll dive into actionable steps for overcoming these barriers, including breaking down planning into manageable steps and building confidence for your journey. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Just Travel with Sandy. I hope you found today's conversation helpful and inspiring as you take steps towards overcoming travel anxiety and embracing the joy of exploring the world. Remember, travel isn't about perfection. It's about discovery, growth, creating memories, and they will last a lifetime. So whether you're planning your first trip or your 10th or your 100th, the key is to take it one step at a time and entrust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. And before we wrap it up, I do have some exciting news that I mentioned earlier. There are only 4 slots left for the upcoming trip to Ireland in June 2025. This is a truly special experience featuring an intimate, small VIP group as we explore Ireland off the beaten track, including some horseback riding, one on the most beautiful beach you can ever imagine. We'll visit hidden gems, connect with local cultures, and really create moments that you'll treasure forever. It's a small group, max 10, And if it sounds like an adventure for you, all the details will be in the show notes, and I'd love for you to join us. So, if today's episode resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. You can reach out to me directly. My contact information will be in the show notes. And if you know someone who may find this episode helpful, please share it with them. Spreading the love of travel and building confidence to explore is something we can all do together. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next part of this series, and we'll dive deep into practical tools and tips to make travel planning less stressful and a lot more exciting. Until next time, remember, each great journey starts with a single step.